All right, so on this one, here's our tense. Okay, present tense, habitual. We have our action. Okay, fia is to like. All right, and then the le negates the like, so it's not like. So actually the action, all of this is together. Our subject is going to be le pepe. Okay, the baby, the baby. All right. Now the only thing about this one, to would anybody state this one differently? So I'll leave this one up here and then put it down there. If you state it a different way, did anybody say it a different way? So I wish I should have had that worksheet pulled up. But remember, there are some actions that go to a location, and then there's I forget if they call them transitive verbs or what. I don't like to get into all of that, but like there's verbs that, like, if I close the door, so ote tapunia le wait, no, let me write it down instead of doing it like that. If I closed the door, okay, so our action is going to be closed, right? So we have I'll just say na, and then o, we'll do tense subject, if then tapunia, and then le paito toa. So that's one way to say it. The other way, if we say tense, na tapuni e au le paito toa. Okay, so that's two different ways. That's two different ways to say it. We have our tense, we have our subject, we have our action, and then we have another subject because I closed the door, right? Now, when we put those two subjects together, okay, then we need to know which one did what. Did I close the door? Or did the door close me? So we say eau, right? But on this one, it's a little different because fia is like alofa, like mafafao, like it's an action that goes to a location. Okay, so with that, the sentence structure is a little bit different. Someone said something here. Yeah, ilana me I. Yep. Okay, so that's it. So that's the only difference with this one. So ele fia. So fia actually goes to the food. So the baby, okay, does not like ele fia le pepe I lona me ai. Does everyone see the difference with that? Fia is just a different kind of action. It's not the same as kapuni or tapuni. Tapuni, if I close the door, I close the door, I have a direct action on the door. The door didn't close me, I close the door. But if I if I like the door, then my fia is going to the door. I le fai tutoa. If I walk to the park, then my walk, my savali, goes I le paca. So those kind of actions go to somewhere, and it's a little different with some words than in English. So like to think, if I thought about it, but in Samoan it's like mafafau I, le mataupu. Like I thought about the subject. My thoughts went to the subject. You see what I'm saying? So, and we do have a worksheet on it. I wish I had it pulled up, but you might have it already because it's already part of the program. But that would be the difference between fia le pepe ilona me ai, and then saying it this way. So we likely wouldn't say it this way because fia goes to the other subject. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, if you're lost, just let me know. Oops, let me move that. All right, so the next one. Anyone have the? We are not playing volleyball, so they're slightly different. So, and there's several ways to say it because there's we can use different sentence structures with it. And I think I said 3 plus inclusive for we. So that would be, I'll go ahead and start. So our tense and our action combination, we'll use this one, tato, te. So, and then what would be our action? The whole action phrase.
Le'i ta'alo.
Okay, I'll put that le'i ta. And then because it's we haven't talked about this yet, but when you have a plural action, some of the words change up. So instead of ta'alo, ta'alo means to play. And then when you have like plural, like more than one people doing the playing, then it's ta'alo. So tatote. We have le'i here, ta'alo. And then what's the rest of the sentence?
I volleyball.
Volleyball. Okay, so actually it would just be
Volleyball.
yeah,
Okay, without the E. Yeah.
volleyball. Is that how we spell it? Volleyball. I think that's how we spell it. Volleyball. Okay. So and then this is not yet play volleyball. So remember the le'i is gonna be past tense. It's like it hasn't happened yet, or tatote le'i ta'alo volleyball. So this would be a past tense. So how will we have present tense negative, if I say it right?
Le'o.
Le'o, yep, le'o. Tato te le'o ta'alo valipolo. Tato te le'o ta'alo valipolo. So that's one way, probably the most likely way we're gonna to hear that. If you wanted to, you could do like start with the e. Actually, I'll leave it like, because this is the most likely way you probably hear it, so I don't want to confuse anybody. You haven't called your mom today. How will we say that? You have not called your mom today. Oops. So we could say, oops. Te. And the reason why I did the te versions mainly for this one is because we just talked about it. I want you guys to remember it. So te, and then so this is our tense pronoun combination with the te. So what will come after that? It would be I'm sorry. Called is vala'au. Vala'au. So ete vala'au. And then we're just missing one thing right there.
Le.
Le'i, yep, le'i. So ete le'i vala'au. So this is you not yet called. And then how we finish that off?
Ilotina, ilaso.
Ilotina. And then you said Iliaso. Okay. Iliaso. Okay, great. So you not yet called to your mom to the today. Iliaso. Iliaso, Ilineaso, either one if you have either one. So you have not yet called, and then your location is to your mom, and then the time is going to be today. All right, everybody see how we got that one? All right, and how did you get your money for the fa'alawe? This is going to be, you might want to know this one for real. So
How did you get?
oh, and the reason why I didn't put the words this time, I was just trying something because someone said in one of those teaching classes that if you don't know it, it might be better for you to just put the English word up, and then that gives you that prompts you to go look up the word yourself, and then maybe it helps you know it better. I don't know if that to be true or not, but I just tried it out. So
La faire,
faire,
on a maua lau tupe,
on maua, you said la tupe,
mapat lava,
what was after tupe?
mo fat lava.
Okay, yep, lave. Okay, so we have our tense, okay, and then we have our helper verb. Okay, we did this in the last class, so it might be kind of new. So faire is how, and then this is the connecting word. So this connects with the main verb is going to be mawa. So how did you receive your money, and then for the fa'alavelave? How did you receive, or how did you get your money for the fa'alavelave? If I missed one step. We missed one step. What's one thing we forgot to say? Actually, no. Okay, it could be. We could say it this way. So I'll say it like this. So we have how get your money, how get your money for the fa'alavelave. That's perfectly fine, because we're saying your money. So it's automatically assumed just because of the lautupe that we're talking to, we're talking to you. So what's another way to say it? Just to be all the way technical with it. So if I did like that, what's one little thing that we would add? That let me see. Yep, on the mawa. Yep. So so this is present tense, habitual tense, and then how, and then the connecting word. You get your money for your fa'alavelave, for your fa'alavelave. You could say le. Again, we're just being really technical because I want you guys to know the difference between all of the stuff. But oftentimes you probably just hear it just like this, the way it was said the first time. If I prefer on a mawa la tupe or la fa'alavelave. You hear it like that, but you could also hear it like this. If they put the e in front of the mawa, this e right here is gonna mean you. Okay, if I prefer on a mawa la tupe mo le fa'alavelave. All right. So all right, now how will we say this one? Number 5, Uncle Tui often helps our grandmother with her gifts. So is this, let's do step by step. Is that past, present, future? Past, present, future? Yeah, past, present, future. So it's often helps. So it's like, this is what he does. Uncle Kui always, this is what he does. So we have an e, and then that's our tense. And then what's going to be the action? Well, let's stop right there. The doer of the action is Uncle Kui. We're not saying he, so we can't use a pronoun. If we're going to use if we said he, then we could probably say, nate, like he. But we're saying Uncle Tui. So we can only go from tense, and then after that's going to be our action. So what's our action?
Soani.
Soani, yep.
Yep, Feso Soani. So that's but then we also have let me just put that Soani. So that's, we actually have 2 actions here. So one is helping, one is one's the main action. So we have often helps. Does anyone know the words for those?
Masani.
Masani. So we have Masani. So is it Feso Soani Masani? Or how would we say it?
Masangi, ona sosoan, ona pesoswan.
Yep, Masani ona fesosoani. So we have this, these are our helper. That's the helper part of the verb. All of this is the action phrase all together. All right. So we have masani ona fesosoani. All right. Well, actually, I'm sorry. We have our tense, and then all of this is the action. Masani usually helps. Usually helps. And masani ona fesosoani. And then what's the subject?
Uncle Tui.
Uncle Tui. Uncle Tui. So e masani ona fesosoani Uncle Tui. And then how will we finish that part? The rest of it. And there's a few ways to say. There's a more formal way to say, and then there's like what you probably hear in conversation a lot.
I mato tina matua.
I mato tina matua. So tina matua is grandmother. If we say our grandmother is mato tina matua, the help, the fesoswani is going to our grandmother. And you probably hear people say this as well, like ilemato tina matua. So our grandmother, or you might hear this because a mom and a grandmom and a tama and a tina, your parents, your grandparents are going to be old class. So you might see that. You might see this. Okay. And then sometimes people just leave it all the way out. Okay, but for our purposes, I'll put the le. So to our grandmother. So ile mato tina matua. And then what's the last part?
I ara mea alofa.
E lana mea alofa. Okay, so yep. So well, since there's multiple gifts, how will we change that? So mea alofa means gifts, and then her gift is going to be lana mea alofa. So it's her singular gift because it's lana.
Drop
How
the
we
L.
I'm sorry.
Drop the L.
Yeah, drop the L. So it's ana mea alofa. Okay, and then with her gifts, So
Can
in
you
my
say
son,
mo? Can you say mo instead of e there, or does it have to be e? Right?
oh yeah, you know, you're actually right. You're right. It's ma ana mea alofa. So yeah, so that's actually the way I messed up. So e masani ona feso soani okutui ile matotina matua ma with ana mea alofa. So if it were to be E, that's like you know, if I'm dancing with the fire knife, that's usually the example I use. So it's like, but if you're doing something with somebody, if you're having an activity or a verb that functions with someone else, or if it's me and you, it's gonna be ma. That's ma. Okay, but E is gonna be like if that would change the context a little bit and it wouldn't really apply. So ma is that's the way that we say it here. Thank you for pointing that out. I was focusing on something else. All right. So bonus question is almost exactly the same, but it's a little bit different. So we have to, there's something that needs to be changed here. So how will we say this one? Uncle Tui used to help our grandmother with her gifts.
Uncle Tui.
Do you start, would sa fit like
Yep.
they used?
Thank you. So that's really all it is. So sa, and then the rest of it is masani ona feso soani Uncle Tui I le matotina matua ma'ana mea lofa. So it's just a past tense. So up here, this is what Uncle Tui does. He often helps our grandmother with her gifts. So Uncle Tui often helps our grandmother with her gifts. That's just what he does. But if it's what he used to do, you know, we're talking about a time in the past, something that he did. All we did is just say sa. So, and I just threw that in there because everything when we're talking about helper verbs is not gonna be a e. You know, it might be na, it might be sa, it might be olo'o. It just depends on, the how the sentence is worded. So in this case, we're saying Uncle Tui used to help our grandmother. So sa masani ona peso soani Uncle Tui ile mato tina mutua ma'ana me alofa. All right. So that was a lot. I know this was a lot. So again, Sunday, if you guys I'll be here 1 p.m. my time. So it's 11 p.m. for most of you guys. Sunday. If you have any questions and you just want to practice some stuff, I'll be here. I'll wait around for a few minutes, and then if nobody's there, then I will scoop. All right, so new topics. This is just a review, so kind of using the same slides from last week. The helper verbs. All right, so adjective reconstruction sounds fancy, but it's really not. We learned about this in like week 1, maybe week 2. So ole ta'avale tuwai. Anybody know what's that mean? What does that mean? What that mean? Ole ta'avale tuwai.
The old car.
The old car, right? So we have the old car. Okay, so we have that, but there's another way to state this. If we wanted to say, put this in tense subject action, tense action subject form. So if we wanted to say the same thing, but say tense action subject, and actually it would be tense adjective subject in this case. But a lot of Samoan structure is like this. We can say ole ta'avale tuwai, but then we can take this, the word that we're describing. So this describes ta'avale, car. So old tuwai, it can also mean late as well, if that's what you know it as. But in this context, it's going to mean old car old. If we wanted to start our sentence with tuwai, if we wanted to say, old is the car, then how would we say that? If we wanted to put it in tense action subject form. Let's see. Tuwai le ta'avale, exactly. So I'll copy that. Tuwai le ta'avale. So what happens, all we did was we take the tuwai, because tuwai is the adjective. It's the way that we describe ta'avale, right? So we have our ole ta'avale. So we have our our noun tense, which is the o. Then we have our limiter, which is le. So we're talking about the singular specific car. But now we're adding an adjective, tuwai. Tuwai is how we describe the car. If we wanted to, we can take this tuwai and put it in the front. Take the tuwai, put it in the front. And when we do that, now we have, let me just take this away. We have tuwai ole ta'avale. All right. Doesn't sound right. What we do whenever you take the adjective and put it in the front, we need a tense for it. Okay. So present tense. Tuwai. So old ole ta'avale. Old is the car. But whenever, remember, like we said, we already have a tense marker, so we can drop the O. All right. Tuwai le ta'avale. So, and I always, I equate this to like when my uncles talk and they don't really have anything, of substance to say, they'll be like, man, ole ta'avale tuwai. And then the next person will say, yeah, tuwai le ta'avale. They just repeated what you said, but they reconstructed what you said. They just flipped it around. So ole ta'avale tuwai, tuwai le ta'avale. You see what I'm saying? So, and you can do that when all we're doing is just taking the descriptive word, the adjective, and put it in the front. Okay, but it can't stand by itself. You have to say, you have to give it a tense. So it is old, the car. It is the old car. All right. Now, what if we wanted to say it was the old car? Or the car was old. The car was old. Yeah.
Natuaile ta'avale.
Okay, so yep. So if we say na tuai le ta'a vale. So that's the context a little bit different from what we're saying. Old, the car is old. The car is old. So old, the car. And then the car was old would be sa tuai le ta'a vale. But you're on the right track. So it's a past tense. And then, but this is the past tense, like, it was an old car. Sa tuai le ta'a vale. And then the car is old. Or, past tense, old, and then we have the car. So I guess the whole point of this is just showing that you can reconstruct these regular subject phrases, ole ta'avale tuwai. You can reconstruct it, and then you can also like give it a different tense if you wanted to, like that. All right. So let's try another one before I confuse everybody with my over explanation. So ose tama'itai aulelei. First of all, what are we saying here in English? How do we translate that?
The beautiful woman.
Yep, a beautiful woman, a very beautiful woman, or not very a beautiful woman. So ose tama'itai aulelei. Now how would we reconstruct that to say beautiful is the woman, or beautiful is a woman?
I thought woman was fafine.
It could be fafine too. So fafine, tama'itai, those are kind of like, synonyms.
Okay.
Yeah, either one. So whenever you see like, whenever you're doing these kind of exercises, or like if you're doing a journal and you're just wanting to reword stuff, O is a subject phrase like present tense marker, like, or we're just identifying something. The equivalent to O when we're talking about adjectives, adverbs, and actions is going to be the tense marker e, and then what comes after that. So that's our tense. What will be our the adjective, the action, or whatever.
Alele.
Aulele, yep, aulele. So aulele, and then what's after that?
Le tamaitai.
Le tama'itai. Okay, in this case we have the se, but if we're not talking about anybody in particular, we'd like, beautiful, a beautiful woman. Beautiful is the woman, or is a woman, then it would be se. But if we're talking about a specific woman, we would say le, like this, beautiful is the woman. Or if we're saying beautiful is a woman. So le said to my itaki. More than likely you'll probably hear le, but I'm just trying to mix it up. All right, so the last one is ola'u pese leanga. Ola'u pese leanga. So what would be, what does it say first of all?
Something about a song.
Okay, yeah.
Is bad.
Is bad, yeah. So la'u is, what's that mean?
Your song is
I-
bad.
My
Oh,
bad.
Yeah.
My
yours-
song is bad.
So my bad song. So it's my bad song. So ola upese, so my song bad. My song, let me just let me write it word for word. So my bad song, or I'm sorry, my song bad. Okay, so that's what that is. Then when we flip it around to translate it, my bad song. Okay, so the olau is my, it is my, and then pese is song, leanga is bad. It is my song bad. It is my song bad. But then in translation, it's going to be my bad song. Okay. Now, how will we make this? How will we flip this around? So if someone says "Ola upese leanga," sorry, "Ola upese leanga," then how will we flip it around to tense, action, and then the subject?
Leanga.
Leanga la upese.
Leanga la upese. Exactly. And that's really all it is to it for all of these. So instead of ole ta'avale tuwai, it's gonna be e tuwai le ta'avale. Instead of ose tama'itai au lele, it's gonna be e au lele le tama'itai, or e au lele se tama'itai. And then instead of o la'u pese leanga, it's gonna be e leanga la'u pese. Okay, so and it's a real simple thing, but you know, again, most of it is just getting over our English programming, the way that we have it already in our head. Okay. Any questions on that? All right. So I guess we'll spend the next like 10 minutes doing like just connecting words. And these are words like if you have a whole phrase, like for example, right here we have ote alofa ilitene. And then that's one phrase. Anyone knows what that means? What that means?
I love the girl.
I
I
love for the girl.
Yep, I love the girl. And then we have another phrase. We have le fia fia la nasoa. Le fia fia. Oh, this probably, you know what, does it say le fia fia e la nasoa? I messed up. I mean, you're probably going to hear people say it the way that it's written here, but I'm supposed to do it all the way book like. So le fia fia e la nasoa. So this is not like, and then my not like go, or the not like is going to, we're talking about the tameness. So her and soa is like, this is another word for friend. It's just a synonym. So I love the girl. So my love letene to the girl. But le fia fia ilana soa. And you might hear people say, you know, I ote le fia fia ilana soa. So I is what connects both of these phrases together. So it connects ote alofa letene and le fia fia ilana soa. All right. I betai. This is a cool word right here. I think me and Leishan talked about this last time. So however, so you can say whatever you want, however, and then whatever. So it's na tautala letama. All right. I betai sa pa'nonoa oia. All right. So what does anyone know what this one means? So usually in translation, we're like, so letama is what?
The boy.
Boy. And then tautala, does anyone know tautala?
Talk.
Talk.
Spoke.
Okay. And then
The boy spoke.
yeah, spoke. So the boy spoke. And then we have I pay tai is gonna be our however. That's our new word. And then we have our tense, sa, fa'anonoa, oia. So, oia is what? And in this sense, we're talking about, so we're talking about letama.
Is,
Well, yeah, well, oia, in this sense right here together is
He.
gonna be oia. Like, so because we're talking about letama, so we're talking about the boy. So, I'm sorry, let me start up here. That's probably why it's confusing. So, sa fa'anonoa, what's that mean? Fa'anonoa is, well, by itself, what is
Was,
fa'anonoa? Oh, say it again, Troy?
the boy spoke, but he was sad.
Yeah, but he was sad. So, sad is fa'anonoa, and then sa fa'anonoa is was sad. So fa'anonoa is sad. Sa fa'anonoa is was sad. And then oia means he, she, or it. But since we're talking about a boy, then it's gonna be in this context is gonna mean he. So the boy spoke. Now tautala letama aipetai sa fa'anonoa oia. Sa fa'anonoa oia. The boy spoke, but however, I'm sorry, he was sad. All right. Ma is and we've had this in several different contexts, but it's an important connecting word because sometimes it can mean with and it can mean and. So in this sense, we're saying ta tote talanoa ma matamata I le fiafianga. So what is so tatote is our tense, our action is talanoa, our connecting word is I'm sorry, tense. This is kind of like our subject too, because we have tatote. So tense, subject, action, and then we have our connecting word of ma and matamata, and then our location is I le fiafianga. We know it's the location because of the E. So I le fiafianga. The matamata goes to the fiafianga, which is entertainment or fun, or there's different ways to translate it. So tatote talanoa. So we spoke. I'm sorry, we speak and watch the entertainment. I le fiafianga. Okay. So ma is the connecting word in that case. All right, let me move a little bit faster. Pe or po. It just means or. So ete fia fia. Here's another one. Ete fia fia iletama poseisi. So we have you like to the boy or someone else. You like the boy or someone else. A lot of times you probably hear people just speak it like this. Eke fia fia le kama poseisi. But I should have put that in there. Ete fia fia iletama poseisi. You like the boy or another, someone else. Okay. Nate fia alu peleai. He, she, it want to go or no.
Or
So
not.
or not. Yep. So we can use it for a noun like poseisi, like another, or we can use it for a verb. Peleai. So if you see like one way to tell the difference, like if to use a pe or a po, like our noun verb, I'm sorry, our noun tense marker is o, right? Po se isi. Isi means another, that's a noun, right? Pe leai. Leai is the adverb, or like, it leads into another action. We're gonna say we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna talk, we're not gonna walk. So that's where the pe comes in at. So pe leai. So that's the difference between pe and po. Inaia is in order to. In order to. So sa masani ono o fa'amalositino. Fa'amalositino is the exercise. What was Masani again?
To help.
Oh, say again?
Oh, I was saying to help.
Oh,
Like,
oh, that's Fesosowani. Masani is like usually or often. So and then Fa'amalositino is the exercise. Fa'amalositino is the exercise. So usually exercise. So tense. And then all of this is going to be our action phrase. So that's the helper part. And this is subject. And then here's the main action of fa'amalositino. Okay. Action. And then, so what does this mean? Sa masani ono o fa'amalositino. So the subject is going to be O or I, and then usually or often exercise, and then it's a past tense, but it's a sa. So I used to exercise, or I usually used to exercise in order to ina ia e mawa to get the strong. The strong. So I used to exercise to be strong. Even if someone is said a little bit differently, so sama sanio no fa'amalositino ina ia e mawa le malosi. So I used to exercise to get strong. But if you translate it word for word, it's going to sound like, again, maybe not yours, but my uncle used to talk like that. I used to exercise in order to get the strong. That's how he would talk. Or that's how he still talks to this day, 30 years into America. So ina ne'i is going to be the opposite, in order to not. So et tau, and this is like should, ona e fa'avave. And I'm pretty sure everyone here has heard fa'avave. Anyone know what fa'avave means?
hurry up.
Yeah, hurry
Go,
up.
go fast. Hurry up.
Right, yeah, everybody knows that one. So so that's our tense. Fa'avave is going to be our main action, to hurry up. And then we have our subject of e, and then this is going to be the helper part. Tatao onna. Anyone know what that one? Tatao? This one, in this context, is going to be like should, like, or should. So e is you, hurry, should. So you should hurry in order to not, and then tuwai. Here's that word again, tuwai or kuwai. In this sense, it means late, in order to not be late. Tuwai. So you should hurry in order to not be late. It's tau on e fa'avave in the net tuwai. So, and there's other ways to say it too, but we'll leave it with that one. I want to introduce one subject. I didn't know I was taking this long. We'll come back to these. Oh man. Next week we'll start with that. We'll start with this, and this is how to start with a subject for for your statements. Because I think if you live in America, you probably hear a lot of people speak this way. We'll come back to that. Here's something that you can practice, and then we'll be done. Epe, you'll hear like in some songs, Samoan songs. It just means light. Okay, so ole tufafine. Anyone knows what that means? Tufafine, ole tufafine. Oops. Yeah.
Girlfriend,
Well, it's like
sister,
sister. Yeah, sister. And
not
then
girlfriend.
yeah, sister. Yeah, don't make your sister be the girlfriend. So then we have the osechida. Oh, so a cheetah. It is a cheetah. But if you say a bay, you put a bay in there. We're saying, instead of saying the sister is a cheetah, and when you put the a bay in there, the sister is
It's
like
light.
a cheetah, right? What I did when I first really getting into, you know, the writings and stuff like that, and trying to make stuff, like I would write poems and songs, and this is one of the main exercises that I would use just to learn vocabulary, to really get familiar also with noun phrases, ole tu fafine, o se chida, and then I would just put a pe in there. What I'm saying, instead of just saying the sister is a cheetah, now I'm saying the sister is like a pe or se cheetah. So it's, you know, like I said, you can build your vocabulary like that. You can build your creativity like that. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, but it's just an exercise that you can do to know the difference between ole tu fa fine o se cheetah. You know, the sister is a cheetah, and the difference between the sister is like a pe or se cheetah. And there's actually some more songs that you'll hear, they use a pe a lot. Ole tu fa fine na tamoe. Sorry, na tamoe ai e pe o se cheetah. So we have the sister na tamoe. Na tamoe. What does that mean?
Ran like a cheetah.
Ran like a cheetah.
Yeah, ran like a cheetah. Ran like a cheetah. So we could also do it this way. So, and if you notice, this is a sentence. We're not saying tense, subject, action. We're actually starting with a whole subject phrase. And ole tu fa fine. And then we have a tense marker, and then like we're starting a whole new kind of sentence, but it's all together. We can start our sentences with a subject phrase, but it has to have the O, and the reason why we need the O there is because there's nothing in front of it. So whenever a subject phrase starts a sentence, we have to have the O. So that's a whole nother subject, a whole nother sentence structure, which is how we're gonna start our next class. So thank you guys for hanging out. We got like 10 seconds left. I will see you guys on Sunday if you want to. I'll be here for a few minutes to see if anyone shows up. 11 o'clock California time, 1 o'clock Chicago Midwest time where I'm at. And Faso Efua, Malo. If you got any questions also, you can just hang around. I'll be here.